My dear friends, today I am here to discuss the concept of time. So many of your friends asked me, so concept of time. In our life, when we talk about the time concept, we think in terms of year, month, week, days, hours, likewise. But in case of Earth, duration of time is such a large that we cannot divide the events in terms of year, month, week, days and hours. So we have devised a certain different terminology: eon, era, period, epoch and age. So these are the different terms that we have chosen to explain the different duration of time and different events. The age of Earth, you know, is 4.6 billion years. That is 4,600 million years. So this entire duration of time have been divided into two major units on the basis of presence of fossils or evidence of life. So Azoic and Phanerozoic term have been coined to represent those areas of the earth, those succession inside the earth. Suppose this is your earth and you are going inside, then there will be successions of rock layers. So all these successions inside the crustal block give you the indication of the past life and past geological events. So those succession which is having absence of life have been coined, have been placed inside the term Azoic. A means absence and zoic means life. So this is the innermost succession of the crustal block. Now those succession where we have certain evidence of life, so we have placed them inside the Phanerozoic. So broadly we have divided the entire duration of time into Azoic and Phanerozoic. So these are the two eon. That is the broadest classification. Earth history. Azoic have further been divided into Archean and Proterozoic. So Archean is the oldest time of hot magma upwelling So it was the initial phase of molten mass when Earth was in a molten state. I told you in the last class that Earth evolved in the initial stage, it was in a molten state. So from nebula, when different planets evolved, Earth was also evolved and it was in a molten state. So this molten state, when gradually cooled in millions of years, the initial stage was Archean period, during which the cooling and solidification of magma inside the earth, lava over the surface of the earth, gave rise to igneous hill, plateau and mountain. Then further onwards, there were Proterozoic time. So protero means primitive and zoic means life. So this phase give you the certain evidence of primitive life in the form of algal mats or stromatolites. So this was the phase of primitive life, and this phase is also known as Precambrian period. Precambrian. So inside Azoic, without life, A means absence, zoic means life. So that phase of earth, those successions of rock that was created initially from this molten state have been placed inside the Azoic duration of time. And in that Azoic duration of time, Archean was the complete absence of any evidence of life, and it was completely igneous in nature. Igneous hill, plateau, mountains, all those things were created in the initial phase. All those cratons of India and Sild have been created in this time period, Archean. Now in Proterozoic, that is also known as Precambrian, the primitive life have been observed over the rock successions. Life itself have not been recovered, but there are imprints upon the rock layers. So this Proterozoic was further divided into Kudappa and Vindhyan. So Kudappa succession, Kudappa basin of Andhra Pradesh have been one of the succession type area where you find this succession, and Vindhyan mountain ranges of central India have been the representation of this duration, these rock formations. So Proterozoic time have been further divided into Kudappa time and Vindhyan time, and those rock succession and hill mountain plateau that was created during this time have been called as Kudappa rock succession or Vindhyan rock succession. So till now we have discussed, first of all, I told you that history of earth, just revise what I have discussed, have been divided into two parts, that is eon. So first one I told you Azoic, then Phanerozoic. Then Azoic was further divided into Kudappa, so this was Archean and Proterozoic, In Archean, the Harvard succession have been attached with this duration of time because the Harvard succession rocks are those which was eroded from the Archean igneous rock provinces. And these Harvard successions are the reservoir of metals on a large scale. Now, Proterozoic have further been divided into Kudappa and Vindhyan. Now, Phanerozoic have further been divided into Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. Paleo means past and zoic means life. So it was the duration of past life. Meso means middle life. And this one is Ceno means new life, new phase life. So Paleozoic is further divided into Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and Permian. Then Mesozoic is divided into Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. And Cenozoic is divided into Tertiary and Quaternary. So Eon, and this one is era, and this one is period. Just like in our life, year is there, inside year there are months. Inside the month there are weeks. Likewise, here is the largest unit of time is eon. Inside eon there are eras. And inside eras there are periods. शुरुआत में आपको ये सारे टर्म सुनने में काफ़ी बोर्डम महसूस होती है, याद करना भी टफ महसूस होता है, बट ग्रेजुअली वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ देम इन आवर अर्थ सिस्टम इन आवर लाइफ, देन यू कैन इजीली रिकॉल और रिमेंबर इट. What is the significance of this time period? ये जो टाइम का कंसेप्ट है अर्थ का, इसका हमारे लाइफ में क्या है इम्पोर्टेंस, इसको समझेंगे पहले. If they ask you, explain the origin of Himalaya. Explain the origin and evolution of Himalaya. Himalaya mountain. So if this question come before you, first of all you have to think about Himalayan mountain. What is the significance of Himalayan mountain? As a boundary between China and Pakistan. It's an important boundary, it forms a major boundary, or it saves India from outside countries' intrusion. Then after, it is the reservoir of variety of minerals, variety of valuable minerals. Then variety of herbal plants that is widely used in medication is stored in entire Himalayan ranges. Then it is a climatic boon. You can say it is a gift of nature to India because its existence creates a monsoon rainfall in and around the foothill belt. And lastly, strategic significance. So these are the multiple significance that is associated with Himalayan mountain. So first of all, we have to think about how Himalaya came into existence and when it came into existence. Then normally it is said that tertiary period, you can say, which is the part of Cenozoic, During this time, this Himalayan mountain came into existence from Tethys Sea. There was a sea, Tethys Sea, sedimentation in this basin. There was a basin inside the sea, and sedimentation in this basin continued for millions of years, and all those sediments crumpled together in long duration of time because of the collision between the Eurasian and Indian plate. So these sediments got crumpled to form Himalayan mountain ranges during this time period. And inside Tertiary, if anybody asks you what was the exact time, then you can say it was the Miocene, Pliocene time, when it came into existence. Now further backward, if you move back of this event, then I told you initially, according to continental drift theory, there were Pangaea surrounded by Panthalassa, and Pangaea got divided into two parts, that is Laurasia and Gondwana. This Gondwana got further divided into, you can say, five parts, like this: South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, and India. So this India, that was a small segment like this. So it started drifting towards the Eurasian plate. This plate was also got divided into North America, Europe, and Asia. So all these blocks started drifting in different direction under the influence of convection current inside the asthenosphere. So suppose here was the Eurasia, and this Eurasian Indian plate was also moving towards it like this. So in between, when it was approaching the Eurasian plate, there was a Tethys Sea in which huge sedimentation was going on, and because of the collision between the Indian plate and Eurasian plate, there were folding, and that led to the evolution of Himalayan mountain. So this is the holistic concept of evolution of Himalayan mountain. So in this background, you need to understand the concept of time. If you don't know the meaning of the term Cenozoic, and inside Cenozoic, Tertiary, what is Tertiary and what is Miocene, Pliocene, you cannot exactly understand the duration of time of Himalayan evolution. So this is the one example I gave you. Another example I am giving you: coal resources. That is the base of our power sector, means thermal power. That we are using in our home and factories and multiple locations. So how this thermal power is generated, I have already explained to you. This coal, variety of coal I have discussed: peat, lignite, bituminous, anthracite. So the best quality, the largest amount is available in bituminous form, but the best quality is anthracite. So these coal are widely used in thermal power plants for power generation and distribution. Now the question arises, this coal resource, which is the base of power generation, how and when it was formed? So simple answer is Gondwana Basin. The term you have to understand is the Gondwana Basin That is, inside India, if you see, there is Damodar Basin, then there is Mahanadi Basin, Godavari Basin, Krishna Kaveri Basin. So this Damodar Basin is one of the most important location for Gondwana rock formation. Gondwana rock. So those rock formation which was created during Gondwana time. Gondwana time means what? Gondwana time means later Carboniferous to early Cretaceous. So this is the duration of time that we will study in the concept of time. So this duration of time is known as Gondwana time, during which there were submergence of huge amount of plant vegetation inside the basin, Gondwana basin, and that created into coal formation through anaerobic decay and degeneration in millions of years. So all those Gondwana basin coal have been the base of thermal power generation and electricity that we have been dependent upon in our home and factory conditions. Now, next example I am giving you about the cotton cultivation. This cotton cultivation in India, which is the base of the cotton industry, cotton clothes we are wearing. So this cotton cultivation is based on black soil. And this black soil region is mostly in Deccan Plateau. Now the question arises, when this plateau came into existence? So Deccan Plateau is simply, it was created by Deccan volcanism in Cretaceous period. This period is also important for the separation of Gondwana land into 5 units. So likewise, I told you that importance of time concept is essential, because if you try to understand different geographical phenomena in different parts of India, so natural question come into your mind that when this phenomena started and how it has been evolving and becoming a major part of our life. So Deccan Plateau was created through Deccan volcanism in Cretaceous period, and because of this volcanism there were formation of a basalt mass all along the Deccan region, and this basalt, when got weathered in millions of years, then we got the black soil. So this is the story of black soil and cotton cultivation, Deccan volcanism, and you have to remember this time period, that is Cretaceous, which is the part of Mesozoic. Now another question, most of metal resources, most of metallic raw materials are found in which rock formation of India? There are multiple choices: Cretaceous rock formation, then Dharwa rock formation, then Tertiary rock formation, and then Kudappa. So out of the 4 choice, you have to select one. Out of these 4, which one formation is having majority of metallic resources in India? And simple answer is Dharwad rock formation. Now, where it stands in our time scale? I told you it was the Archean time period, which is the oldest foundation, oldest rock, forming the foundation of most of the geological succession. So this was the phase when there were the solidification of magma. So magma lava that was erupting over the surface, that was cooling and solidifying, crystallizing. So during that period, multiple igneous rock mountains were created, and those rock mountains were weathered and different sedimentary equivalents were deposited in the surrounding basins, and those sedimentary successions that was created from the igneous rocks have been termed as Dharwad rock succession, in which metallic minerals are stored. Now again revise what we have discussed till this time. I have given you the idea of concept of time, the concept of eon, era, and period. Then I gave you certain example of Himalayan mountain, then Deccan Plateau, then Gondwana Basin, and through coal formation, then cotton cultivation, and Himalayan mountain. So these are the example. Likewise, more than 15 questions are there in Indian context where they ask you the different duration of time when this event happened or happening. Now, another topic I am giving you the certain idea about this entire earth. If you take a holistic view, then you observe multiple geomorphic features. So these geomorphic features variety of geomorphic features that is available throughout the globe could be divided into 2 parts: continent and ocean. Inside the continent, we can observe plateau, mountain, and plain. Inside the ocean, we also find mid-oceanic ridges, abyssal, hill, guyot, and so many others. So these are the geomorphic features. If you observe the globe, then you will observe these are the features distributed throughout the globe. Now the question arises, how these features have evolved in long duration of time. So geomorphic agents, think about, here I told you geomorphic features, these are the features. Now I am asking you, what are the geomorphic agents? Wind, water, glacier, inside water, underground water, river water. So wind, water, glacier, and marine waves. So these are the major geomorphic agents. But the question arises, why these geomorphic agents work? They work at different level, and broadly they involve in erosion or deposition according to the circumstances. And through these 2 processes, they create variety of landforms. Now, another thing that you have to understand, what drives geomorphic agents? What are the driving factors behind geomorphic agents? Why wind, water, glacier, and marine waves are working with different intensity at different places? What drives them? So broadly, you see, this is our Earth, and solar rays are coming. Solar rays. So this is the equatorial belt, and this equatorial belt is receiving the maximum heat of sun. So it is the hottest portion. And moving away from the equator towards the pole, this is the North Pole, this is the South Pole. And what we observe, moving away from equator, there is gradual reduction in the heat condition. And therefore, the heat condition is one of the driving factor behind. If energy is sufficient in any location, then only you can expect different kind of movement. So this is the hottest condition, and moving away from equator towards pole, there is gradual reduction in the heat condition. So the intensity of operation of these geomorphic agents also gradually reduces. So northward and southward, there is gradual decline in energy condition. So this is the one factor that you have to keep in your mind. Another factor is the concept of grade. The concept of grade or baseline of erosion. Base level of erosion. So base level of erosion concept was given by Powell, a very important geographer, renowned geographer he was. So he said that it is the sea level which is the base level of erosion, beyond which no geomorphic agent will work. So if over the surface of the earth any highland is there, just imagine there is a highland. This is a highland, and just at another place there is a lowland like this, a cavity like structure, a basin you can say. If geomorphic agent is working, then this is the sea level. Then that geomorphic agent will try to minimize this highland through erosion, and this process of minimization is targeted to achieve this base level. So this process will be called as degradation, because this sea level is the grade that they want to achieve. So this is the grade or base level. So all the highlands lying above the grade will be eroded by most of the geomorphic agents, and all these material that is being derived from here will be deposited in the surrounding basin wherever there is lower basin. So here deposition process will be there, and here degradation means removal, breakdown. So here term is degradation, and here term is aggradation, means filling is going on. This depression is getting filled by the sediments to achieve the grade level. So this is the grade, that is the sea level, that is the base level. So all the geomorphic agents intend to achieve this grade level through either degradation or aggradation, and this process of degradation and aggradation is called as gradation. Gradation term include both degradation and aggradation. Now, try to understand the concept of arid, semi-arid, subhumid, and humid. So these are the 4 geographical provinces on the basis of annual precipitation. So if rainfall is less than 25 centimeter annual precipitation, you can say, is less than 25 centimeter, then the term is, the area will be called as arid. If it exists between 25 to 50 centimeter, then we call it semi-arid region. Then further onward, more than 50 to 75 or 100, you can see, it is subhumid, and more than 100 centimeter rainfall, those areas receiving more than 100 centimeter will be called as humid. So humid and subhumid belt is dominated by riverine geomorphic agent. Means river will be the most important factor here as a transformation, as a factor of transformation behind the surface. And arid and semi-arid region is dominated by wind and glacier. Depending upon the latitudinal condition, the wind or glacier will be acting. In highland area over the mountain top, the glaciers are existing, so they also remain dry. That's why they are also called as arid or semi-arid. So over the surface of the earth, if aridity is there, then wind will be the most important factor. But over the mountain, if aridity is there, then there will be glacier as the most important factor. Now, what are those mechanisms through which these geomorphic agents erode the surface? First one is abrasion, then attrition, deflation, hydraulic action, then multiple other processes are there that will come. One by one we will go through these processes. What abrasion means? If two surfaces, just imagine this is the rock surface and geomorphic agent is working over it and creating a mechanical removal of grains. So simply mechanical removal of grains by the geomorphic agent is known as abrasion. So physical weathering, you can say. So here just assume geomorphic agent is there and the rock surface is there. But inside the geomorphic agent itself, if there is a mass, huge mass of water or wind, inside that if there is rock particles, and these rock particles are colliding with each other, mutual collision is going on. Between rock particles. So this term will be attrition. Abrasion is when geomorphic agent strikes the rock surface and removes the particle or breaks it in a smaller fragment, then the term is abrasion. But if the rock particle inside the geomorphic agent collide with each other and mutually break each other, then we call the term attrition. So abrasion and attrition are one of the most common process through which rock particles are broken and weathering is going on. Another is deflation, that is a special process of wind. So just imagine wind is blowing and there is a rock surface like this. So all the rock fragments, particles that is lying in and around the surface will be gradually removed by these wind stream. So just imagine any situation at this location, the wind is gradually removing the rock particles and a structure emerges like this. So a depression has been created here. So this depression created because of the wind stream removal of the particles, if it gets the water accumulation through the rain, then we call it oasis. So this process of deflation is the common process in arid and semi-arid region and done by the wind stream, creating variety of oases in desert areas. Now next one is hydraulic action. Just imagine a huge river stream is moving like this. This is the rock portion, coastal belt, and huge stream, water stream is flowing. So this water stream, when it strikes in the coastal belt, then coastal belt will gradually be removed. So this segment I am creating here like this, it is a vertical wall-like structure of this portion. So this lower portion will be gradually removed by water like this. So this entire column will be gradually removed and a structure will emerge like this. Okay. Now, if this water that is moving inside have created a structure like this here, then water will strike in this cave-like structure, and inside this cave, when it strikes the roof of the cave, then this roof will gradually be further removed. When the water moves inside the cave, it strikes and breaks the roof, but when it comes back, air occupies this space. So this is the sequential process. Water moves inside, then it compresses the air already existing there. So that air, when compressed along the wall, and when water moves back, then those compressed air abruptly expands and creates a sound that breaks this roof. So this is the expanding air creating a blasting sound inside the cave, through which the roof of the surrounding wall is broken, and that process is called as hydraulic action. So water itself is not breaking. Water itself is breaking the lowermost portion. This portion was removed by the simple abrasion process. But when cave was created, then water was compressing the air inside, and when water was coming back, then the compressed air were expanding abruptly, creating a blasting sound, and that sound is breaking this roof that is called as hydraulic action. Now, think about the condition of arid belt. Arid belt is both in Ladakh region and Jaisalmer region of Rajasthan. Aridity is at both the places, but difference is here there is cold condition, cold temperature condition, and here is warm temperature condition. Now, if question is being asked that explain the arid belt geomorphology with reference to Ladakh and Jaisalmer, then how will you explain it? Think about. Because both the condition, in case of India, if you observe it, one is at Ladakh here and another is here. So this is, you can see the latitudinal difference. The latitude here and latitude here is quite different. So here the geomorphic agent will be glacier. You might have heard about the frost action. So here the frost action will be the most important geomorphic process for the breakdown of the rock in Ladakh belt. But in Jaisalmer, deflation and abrasion are the most important process because of the variation in temperature condition as well as the latitudinal position. Likewise, if you divide India into geomorphic provinces, then broadly there are three major provinces. They are Himalayan belt, peninsular belt, and in between Indo-Gangetic plain. All the three units are having its distinct features because they have evolved in millions of years with different process. Initially, I told you, the India that got separated from the Gondwana land, this Gondwana land when got separated into 5 units, one unit was India. And this India that was carved out of Gondwana land was not having Himalayan belt and Indo-Gangetic plain. So only the peninsular belt like this. So this belt was existing at that point of time. When this separation was there during Cretaceous period. So the present India and the original India was quite different. Present India is having Himalayan mountain, Indo-Gangetic plain and peninsular belt. But the initial or the original India that was created from the Gondwana land was not having these two units. So now think how these two units came into existence, how they evolved with the passage of time. So this is one of the most important questions that could be asked in direct or indirect way through UPSC. So you have to think about. So first of all, think about the original India that was created through the separation of Gondwana land. So this original India was having 5 major cratons. So what is the meaning of the term craton? Craton is the stable block of earth, a stable block of earth reflecting least movement. Least movement. So what are those 5 major cratons? So first one is this one, Singhbhum craton. Then Bastar craton. Then Dharwar craton. Here Aravalli Craton. And here Bundelkhand. Bundelkhand Craton. So these are the major 5 cratons which were made up of hard igneous rocks, metamorphosed igneous rocks, which is still the most important segment of India, having variety of precious minerals, metals. So this original India started drifting with the course of time. It started movement towards Eurasian plate, and when it came near the Eurasian plate, this Indian mass was moving like this. So this is the belt of Tethyan sediment which got crumpled between these two plates. This plate was also moving with very slow speed. So this zone of crumpling of Tethyan sediment gave Himalayan mountain. Once there was formation of Himalayan mountain, multiple chain in the northern portion, then naturally variety of rivers originated from these areas, and they deposited sediment in all these areas for millions of years, and Indo-Gangetic plain emerged. So this portion became Himalayan mountain, and the further foothill region became the site for Indo-Gangetic plain. That's all for today. All these things you have to go through in detail in coming classes. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Bye.